Okay, good afternoon. This is Mayor Gene Hunt, and I'm joined here today by our leadership team from the City of Poquoson and the Poquoson School System to address our citizens directly and to share information about the City of Poquoson's operational plan as we navigate through the uncertainty of the impact of the COVID-19 virus on our community. First and foremost, I pray for our community and that the impact is minimal, as well as the effects on your individual families is minimal as well. My hope is that we align in our efforts as a community to try and contain this virus. As we learn more about the coronavirus, affectionately known as COVID-19, it has become clear that we all have a responsibility to do our part to decrease the spread of this disease. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, or the CDC, has advised that older adults and people who have severe underlying chronic medical conditions are most at risk. Whether or not you fall into this category, chances are likely that you know and that you love someone who does. The virus is thought to spread mainly from person to person, and the CDC guidance says the best way to prevent illness is to avoid being exposed to the virus. There are many precautionary measures we as a city are trying to take to keep you healthy and our city safe for all of us. While we have been working to perform additional cleaning across the city, suspending all city travel and large gatherings, and as you are most likely aware, closing government buildings to public access to limit the potential spread of this virus. While these are an essential first step, more may be required. As a city, we have teamed with all the peninsula cities and counties, and we are unified in our approach to limit the potential exposure. In sharing this responsibility with us, we continue to ask that our residents avoid gatherings of more than 50 people. We are a social society, and as such, most of our daily lives include social interaction. This is not an easy task for Americans, and we recognize what is being asked of our citizens. We also ask that you continue to provide for your critical needs, such as shopping, fueling your vehicle, and essential tasks. Hopefully you're practicing the hygiene steps that have been recommended of washing your hands frequently, sanitizing spaces, and limiting close contact with others, especially with the elderly or compromised immune systems. We hope our operations in some small way alleviate our concerns and make a positive difference in avoiding the spread of this virus. We are and will continue to be in conversation with our local and state departments of health, our companion cities and counties, as well as our city leadership team to constantly learn, modify, and communicate regularly and in a timely manner as decisions are made or they change. Importantly, we know for now the operational mode we are in following until March 30th. And I'll ask Randy Wheeler, our city manager, to highlight the city's operational plan overall. And then we have our fire chief, Robert Holloway, to address some citizens there, and Jennifer Parrish from our school system to address anything for the schools. Randy?
Thank you, Mayor. Little do we know on Friday afternoon when we left, that by the time we get back on Monday, things would have changed as drastically as they have. City operations remain as normal as they can be in this environment. We previously let everyone know that buildings would be closed to the public, but I want to assure you that the public workforce is still working, and we are finding ways to continue to serve our public. So being flexible and learning as we go, but with every intention to do the best possible job that we can for all of our citizens. Police and fire service will go on as usual, as will solid waste services and things like that. For those people that need us for things that maybe aren't as quite of an emergency, I would ask them to look to our website. Many of the things that the citizens need from us or need help from us with are things that our website can really help them. For example, paying taxes, paying utility bills, applying for a permit, making an application. Those things are available. Additionally, Many of the services that our DMV Select could provide here in Poquoson, they can still provide through that website. And in case you haven't thought of it, our library has an extensive amount of online materials for folks as well. If our website doesn't have an easy avenue for what it is that we can do to be of service, give us a call. We will, in some cases, we'll have to find a way, but we're committed to find a way. And so give us a call. We'd ask you to check the website first. If that's not possible or you don't find it there, please give us a call during the normal business day, and we will do everything that we can to be of assistance. We will also still be processing mail. We have drop boxes in front of the municipal building and also our building here in the back. So if you've got a tax payment you want to drop off or an application, that is another way to do it. Additionally, we know that not being able to come to city offices is going to be an inconvenience, and sometimes it could be a financial inconvenience. So we're trying our best to identify those things like library fines. So we will not be assessing library fines during this 2-week period. We will, as always, continue to accept credit card payments to the treasurer's office for tax payments. But we're going to waive that convenience fee that you would normally be charged, that 2.5% extra fee for using. We're going to waive that during the 2-week period. We're not going to issue any utility cutoffs this month. We're going to do what we can to make sure that the inconvenience of not coming and meeting with us face to face isn't going to adversely impact our citizens. Additionally, we are maintaining on our website information with regard to what the city services are and information for our citizens. And you'll find at the top of our webpage there is a COVID-19. It's a red dot. You can click on that, and it'll take you to the city's postings. To its right is also a link to the Virginia Department of Health. And the Virginia Department of Health is the best source in Virginia for public health information. So if you want to, you can access them through our site, again at the top. And I would also note to you and to the public that the Peninsula Health District has established a call center which is open from 8 to 6, 7 days a week, to accept citizens' calls as well. And that number is 757-594-7069. So I hope you have a sense of sort of what the city government's operation is going to be. We are trying real hard to find ways to be flexible, to meet the same level of service expectations and standards that we've always had in this temporary period when the doors are closed. Two specific areas that I think citizens would like to know about and understand better, sort of what we're doing with our public safety, and also to provide an opportunity for Dr. Parrish to talk about schools. I know that she has an extensive communication with the school community, but that's a subset of a larger community. So I'd like to do both of those today, and we'll start with you, Chief Holloway, and make sure I get back to my questions. I don't want to miss anything. It's been a whirlwind 72 hours. But the first question, Robert, if you could share with us the changes or what's different with regard to the equipment and the protocols that the public safety employs, which includes both your employees and our police officers when they're responding to calls these days.
Well, when you get right down to it, with any EMS response, our personnel is trained to use universal precautions. In an incident that has potential to be as serious as this is, we're particularly mindful, and they pull out all the equipment, and that includes gowns, face masks, gloves, to ensure their safety and the safety of our patient.
Well, let me ask you, if a person were to call 911 now, they're with Response, there's a new dispatch protocol whereby the dispatchers are going to ask questions.
Correct.
And if you could explain that and talk about why that's important?
Essentially what they're going to do is to try to determine the probability that you've been in contact and you have symptoms that meet the criteria of the coronavirus. So they'll be asking you questions such as, have you been out of the country in the last 2 weeks? If you have a fever, if you have a cough or any other particular symptoms that will key them to think that this is a probable case.
Excellent. So that's a change in the protocols to make sure that when our staff respond to help people, that we've got the best information possible to help keep the staff safe in addition to serving the patient in a safe manner. And the same is true with regards to how people access us in this closed business environment. Almost all of our citizens who need EMS or police or fire assistance call 911.
Correct.
But I know that in a small community, we have a small group of people that at times might drive themselves straight to the fire station. So if you could talk a little bit about why that's going to change a little bit and how we can accommodate that on our side.
Well, typically the fire stations are open and people have easy access. At this particular time, the fire stations are locked down, and if they come to the fire station needing assistance, they simply need to go to the red phones that are mounted on the front of each fire station near the front door, and that will get the attention of the personnel inside, and we are ready to assist them in any way.
So my understanding is the reason for that is that those phones will connect to the dispatch center, and the dispatchers will ask the same pre-screening questions so that we know if the individual needing assistance may have the type of symptoms commensurate with COVID-19, that we've taken the proper protective steps for our employees as they're coming out to serve that person.
That is correct. Just be patient with us because the questions that the dispatchers are going to ask are going to be similar to the ones that our personnel are going to ask, because we're trying to determine the exact course of treatment.
Understood. And last, Chief, the public may want to know, they may know, but they may not have thought of this capacity, but in the city of Poquoson, we're part of a larger group of people that support each other, communities through mutual aid. Can you talk a little bit about how that works, particularly in times where the entire system may be going through stresses like we haven't seen before?
Sure. We have a response matrix that simply, depending upon what the description of the call is, certain pieces of equipment get dispatched. We have that for our normal responses within the city, and also should we have, say, a full structure fire, then we have automatic responses from two of our neighboring cities, York County and the city of Hampton, that respond with equipment and personnel to ensure that we're able to take care of whatever the call is, and to also take care of our personnel to rehab them and maintain their health and safety as well.
Thank you very much. Is there anything else you'd like to add at this point, Chief?
I would simply reassure the citizens that we stand ready to answer their calls for request, as we always have been, and
Thank you very
pray
much.
for everybody.
Well said. Dr. Parrish, you've had an interesting week as you've prepared for this, and I think I can speak for you when I say that at 2 o'clock on Friday afternoon, you were not expecting to have the governor put public schools in Virginia on a 2-week closure. That came, even though this is come for a while, and I know that you and your team have been planning for this type of thing, it still came suddenly. So, Dr. Parrish, we know the schools are closed. Are you able to continue to provide instruction to the students during the closure?
We are. As you said, we really were planning for potential closure, so we weren't overly surprised. However, it was a little more sudden than we expected. But fortunately, we had our teachers at the primary and elementary school working on packets to send home with the students, and we had begun that work Friday morning, and they worked diligently. So we were actually able to send those packets home with the students on Friday evening. So I have to give a lot of credit to the teachers that worked very hard and very quickly to make that happen. As for our 6th through 12th students, we are going to do instruction with them online. So all of our teachers came in this morning for some brief meetings, and our secondary teachers for some additional training. So they were spending today and tomorrow getting ready to upload materials online that our students will be able to access. So that will be available to students on Wednesday. We are reaching out to parents to let them know exactly how the students can access that material. And even at our primary and elementary schools, our teachers are also on their web pages providing information to parents and some additional activities. We are having all of our teachers actually have office hours for our parents and students. So every teacher will be available on the computer for 2 hours each day, Monday through Friday, so that they can answer emails as they come in. So if a student or a parent has a question, they can send the email, they'll get an answer right back from the teacher. There may be that there's a number of emails and they'll work through them, but it does give them some direct access on time as questions are being asked. This is also true of our school counselors. We know at the high school we certainly have seniors who are concerned about things like applying for scholarships, hearing from higher ed institutions in terms of when acceptances may now be required with higher ed institutions closed as well. So we're trying to get as much information as we can from them, as well as through the College Board and other educational agencies. So we're trying to communicate as much as we can directly with parents and students during the school closure. I will say that we are not teaching new material to our students. This is going to be enhancing the work that they've done before, some of the skills they've already learned. We are under some regulations where we just can't actually grade and record them. And we are concerned that despite our best efforts, some students might not have access. I will tell you that we are providing Chromebooks to families who have indicated that they do not have computers at home for their students to use, and we are also providing hotspots and Wi-Fi to our families that don't have it. So we are confident that by the end of this week we should reach all those families so every student does have access to online learning. We right now have plans to provide instruction to our students, or continuity of instruction to our students through the end of next week. The governor, as you mentioned, closed the school for 2 weeks, so that's officially through March 27. We are waiting to see if there's going to be a change to that at the state level, and certainly if there is, we'll communicate that out to our families and our employees as soon as possible. So I just want to say, and I know you know this, Randy, that our teachers have just been incredible in the last few days and what they've done to try and get things up and going to support our students, because this is a stressful time for our students, and we're trying to do everything we can to make it perhaps a little less stressful.
Thank you for that, and as a father of one student still in the Poquoson school system, I can tell you on our side of it, we've appreciated that very much.
Thank you.
So to recap what you said, the governor's 2-week closure of public schools remains in force, and there's no additional information with regard to any possible extension of that at this time.
No, there's not. I know, we get information, certainly. I know there was a press conference today, just a little bit ago, from President Trump laying out some other guidelines that I suspect could impact what schools do, but we will wait till we get direction from the governor as to what our next step might be in terms of closing or opening schools in the future. And I really say this, that we will get that information out as quickly as possible. So I say to our community, please rely on the communication from us and perhaps not what you might find in social media outlets that might be information we're actually putting out.
So where's the best place for a parent or someone in the community to get that information? Is it your website?
Absolutely. Our website, we are updating daily and sometimes hourly because the situation is so fluid. So we have an entire web page which has the text of any phone calls that we sent out, because we are calling parents when we have important information that we want to get to them directly via the phone. And for some reason you missed the call or you delete it in your voicemail, they can actually see the text on our website. We also have a list of different resources, and like the city, we have a link to VDH as well as CDC, because we're not able to provide medical information, but we can certainly provide the links to those. We are also on Twitter, so if you go to @Poquoson Schools, follow our Twitter account, because we push information out on Twitter as soon as we get it as well. And our website, in case our community members don't know, is www.poquoson.k12.va.us. And again, I really encourage folks to get the information from our website, from our Twitter account, or from the phone calls that we make, because those are our official sources, and we don't want misinformation out there where people think we're releasing information that's not something we've released.
So one final question for you, Dr. Parrish. Are the schools able to provide food for families who may need assistance during this time?
Yes, we work together as a team today, and we anticipate likely tomorrow sending phone calls home to all of the families in our community to let them know that we are going to be distributing food at 4 locations throughout the community, and we'll be identifying those in the phone call and then have that information up on the website as well. At this point, we're anticipating delivering multiple meals, probably 2 days a week, that then can be saved by the families to use as they see fit. As we move through this, we may need to change that, and some of that will may happen once we get a real sense of the community need. We're still not sure how many families may need the food that we're providing, so we certainly will make changes as we need to, but we want everyone in the community to know that the food will be available to any of our families who we can assist with that, and we're hoping by spreading the locations out throughout the city when we do the distribution that people can even potentially walk to pick up the food if transportation is a struggle.
I appreciate your talking about change. The situation that we find ourselves in is rapidly changing, and so I would encourage our citizens as well to check our website and social media frequently. It's to the greatest extent possible, it's business as usual. For example, we're planning solid waste pickups and recycling pickups. We've got a convenience site coming up this coming Saturday, which we're planning. But as things change, we will update our website, and also just feel free to call us at any time as well. We're in a changing environment, and as they change, we will update our website and social media as well, and try our best to keep people informed as we make the best of this changing situation.
Okay, I thank all 3 of you for joining me here, and I thank the citizens for taking just a few minutes of their evening or whenever you're viewing this to understand that though the doors are closed, we're open for business. Where to get the information without social media sites giving you disinformation and being frustrated. That our websites, both the city schools and the city's websites, are your best information hub for the rapidly changing directions that we're receiving, and that your city is here responding to those rapidly changing directions and coming up with plans within hours and then communicating them out. So if you will just get your information from there, we will continue to strive and lean forward to get that information to you. That's all we have, but we do appreciate your time, and thank you.